So welcome everybody. Last meeting of the year. Let's see. What do we got cooking here today? Next slide. John, you want anything add to this?
Were we going to go over the etiquette thing first?
Yes.
Oh, is that next?
That's next.
I don't have anything to add to this.
Okay.
Yeah. Just that I guess I would add that for those of you who saw the Equinox, the presentation my daughter Ellen and I gave on class
That was fantastic.
Equinox,
You think?
how we did highway robbery as Tom and I were talking about in a legal way to get an Equinox for essentially half price. It's here after we're done. Well, we can spend a lot of time looking at it if you want.
Yeah. John grew up in a household where they clipped coupons a lot.
Right. Yeah, so all those coupons, all those years just came really in handy.
And the green stamps and the blue stamps.
Yeah. Yeah. So then to talk about a little different than sometimes we're wanting to focus on giving presentation people the floor while they talk. So when we do our introduction, just do a short one. We're just going to, one at a time. Try not to go into your other stories of life and everything. Otherwise, we just end up pushing everything back. And so we have a time for discussion afterwards. So just, save other comments for that. And there'll be a question to introduce yourself, really quick, just 1 minute. And then when people are presenting on slides or the main presenter, just please wait till the end for questions. That's the most respectful thing I can think of to do. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you for hosting us today.
Yeah.
Great place. Did you want to plug your business while we're here?
It doesn't need to be plugged.
It doesn't need to be plugged.
Already plugged in.
It's an automatic plug.
That's true. Whenever I reach out to people outside the region and say where we meet, they're, oh yeah, I bought my porch at your place.
Okay.
Yeah. It's widely known throughout the West Coast.
Yeah, and the bathroom is just right over there at the corner in that little cubby area. There's a door in the bathroom. You need it. And I may go over and turn off the heaters soon if it makes too much noise. I don't know. Sometimes we have a hard time hearing, but
yeah,
I just want to see how that goes.
Yeah. Let's go through introductions. We'll start on the phone. We'll start with you, Russ. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Russ Wigglesworth in Petaluma, and I drive a 2015 Colt EV. Not cold. Sorry.
Right. I think thanks, Russ. I just wanted to say that wanted you to see the question today is a little different. It has to do with if you can think of any cool EV accessory that you would give as a gift. That might be kind of fun. So
well, I'll give out any Aptera models that you want from a 3D printer.
You mean like real models or like little models?
Yes.
Yeah. Got it. Right.
Or even a drawing of an Aptera.
Even a drawing. Okay.
It's coming.
Yeah, great. Let's see. How about you, Caleb? All the way from San Diego, right?
Yeah, so I live down in Orange County, and I drive a 2018 BMW i3S, and depending on the audience of who I would provide this gift to, I would probably get them an electric Barbie car with charger.
Nice.
Pretty good. Ellen.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Ellen. For an EV accessory, I have a couple ideas. One would, of course, be like a NAX adapter. Or I thought of charge cards, for charging at a certain network, like EVgo, a gift card to EVgo or something like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cecilia?
Well, I was thinking maybe a fob or a note to remind your employees, if you're an employer that has parking at the workplace, to remind drivers to charge at your workplace installed charging.
Oh, so good. Eileen?
Okay, I'm Eileen in Santa Rosa, and I still have a 2002 Nissan Sentra, so I would need a whole EV.
We'll work that out.
Okay, good deal.
John can get you one for half price, Eileen.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
John, the auto broker. All right. Jerry.
Yeah, I'm Jerry.
Jerry, that's
I
it.
have a 23 Bolt EV right now. Prior to that, I had a 500E. My current project is to electrify a Lotus Elan, which has already been done by a fellow in England. I'm trying to replicate what he did. And as far as, I have no idea. EV thing.
You're gonna need a lot of parts.
Yeah, I'll be here probably a lot. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm John Palmerly. Ellen and I are related. She's my daughter, and I drive an '85 Toyota pickup that she and I converted, and also I know I shouldn't be saying this too, but you know we're doing the Equinox. We have that, and as an accessory, I would ditto what Ellen said. We're actually thinking about how NACS adapters are really nice, and so figuring out how to what current rating to give to somebody would be a little challenging because of the different cars, but that would be it. And also somehow giving gifts that have to do with it, making your EV more able to be slept in some way. I have to think about, you know, like a pad, but they have a lot of pads out there for the back when the seats are pulled down. Anyway, that's it.
All right, hi, I'm Mike Newell, and today I'm driving a Toyota Camry, I think it is, but it's got an EV button on it. Believe it or not, I think it's marketing, but it's a hybrid. Well, for an EV accessory, I'm wearing the NBEAA swag today too. I got the heavier jacket, which is not very heavy, and a lighter one, and I got them both because I didn't really know how heavy either was.
So
if anybody wants to
that's
see
fresh
me-
off the store.
fresh off the store, and it says it takes about 3 weeks, which was a little less. So if you're gonna get one for Christmas or ask for one for Christmas, better do it like this week.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure. Anyway, yeah, it took two plus weeks.
Really good idea. Yeah.
yeah,
Great.
that's great.
Name's Sonia, and give people a Waymo gift
You took your first Waymo ride then?
card.
No, yeah.
Oh, you must.
You're not, we'll go do it too, but you can
Good idea.
like the gift / challenge.
Yeah.
They started running in the South Bay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, Jack.
Okay. Free. Bologna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Jerry, and today I drove the 2018 Leaf. I wish it had a heat pump between defrost, so I could get all the miles. The defrost.
Does anybody make an upgrade option for that? But haven't looked.
And I saw that you can actually buy an OEM pack for it, for like $6,000-7,000 to shoot kilowatt hours. I'm going, you go to their facility that says, hey, we do this. Yeah. But the accessories for me, the NACS adapters I bought both the DC adapter so I can use that with the V6. I bought the AC adapter, which is really cheap. So when I visit my friends who have Teslas and they don't have any way to charge the car, I leave the adapter with the one friend down in Palo Alto so I can charge the car because his charge station broke and he just has a way of charging it. And the last one was just a portable cable, which they don't all send anymore. And the Nissan Leafs used to come with a 220 and the adapter for 110, and it runs 7.7 kilowatts. So I did that charging the EV6.
David?
David here.
I came in the old of our meeting today. I think that
David, the prompt is, what gift would you give as an accessory for Holloway?
for an
For
EV.
EV,
For an
yeah.
EV,
Well, it's heat pump, alternative.
Steve?
Steve Pearson, drive a 2015 Nissan Leaf. And here's the E part, but not the V part. I'd like to have an electric assist bicycle. Pedal assist. So don't need it full like a motorcycle that you oftentimes see out there.
This is what I have.
Just a little
Yeah.
assist, get up those hills. Would be awesome.
I think there's still grants on those.
I know that Sonoma Clean Power is actually considering some kind of loan program.
Yeah,
Kind of a green
yeah.
bank type, but it's in its infancy.
By the way, when you're talking about now, we need to not call those e-bikes anymore. They're motors.
No, mine's an e-bike,
How fast does it go?
20. Yeah, yeah. My wife's is also a rad, and hers does 28.
Yeah,
That's not a bike. I agree. But she has a knob she can turn to make it class 2 or class 3, but I agree. So you can look up the grants or there's loans for those, Steve. You can you can gift yourself
There you go.
an e-bike.
You could try community bikes. They sometimes use, electric bikes. It's very reasonable. And they're still on tobacco. Yep, yeah.
Harry put the Lunas is in hers.
I'm not familiar with it.
Brad?
Hi, I'm Brad Morrison. My interest project in the NBEAA is that there's currently no used vehicle dealership in the North Bay that specializes in used EVs. So if anyone's interested in that, talk to me afterwards.
Yourself?
Oh, I don't know. Well, it's been my project for a while. I just haven't found anyone.
Oh. It was a lot of money.
No, it's actually not that expensive.
Well, I'm Bernie Dolan, and I have a Y, Tesla Y. And the thing I would like, so that's what I guess I would give too, is an electric 12 volt. Instead of the regular 12 volt that they give you, the
Like a
charge,
lead acid
the
replacement, the battery.
yeah, that.
You'd like a better battery, is that it? Or
Well, yeah, the name totally escapes me.
a lithium version of it, or no?
Well, you can go on and you can order these batteries that they're like the car battery, it's a 12 volt, where I've got just the basic
Old school.
12 volt lead acid.
Oh, you want to switch to lithium.
Lithium, yeah.
12
lithium
volt
type,
battery.
12 volt.
Yeah.
And they're about $500.
Right.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Actually, I bought them for a friend, 300.
Did you?
1 kilowatt hour.
Yeah. Thanks, Bernie.
Brian Hall. I've been spending the last 4 weeks up in my place in Washington. We bought a place outside of Spokane, and it's just beautiful there. I have a 2013 Nissan Leaf up there that I put a 50 kilowatt pack in, and so I've got plenty of range. It's like about 200-mile range.
Yeah.
But I do use my electric tractor almost daily there. We're building gardens and I'm loading up my dump truck with trash and debris from the property.
Nice.
Did you upgrade that or buy one from?
No, I
People. Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it's got a loader on it. Yeah, I've got these tines that hook on the bucket of the loader, so it sends it out about so far. Like a really pickup.
Yeah.
property is getting cleaned up. And then Thanksgiving, it snowed up there, so.
Oh.
So you came back. So you came back.
No, I came back, and now I'm gonna go back up there for Christmas and New Year.
So Brian, what would you gift us if liability were no issue?
What?
What would you gift all of us if liability were no issue and cost were no issue?
No, well, I think a tire pressure gauge is important. You know, well, yeah, it's important to keep the tire topped off so you have good range.
Good point. Good one. So I'm Dom, and I think I would I have an EV6, and I think I think I would give everybody a Electrify America card, a gift card.
Mhm.
$20 of Electrify America. How far does that go? I don't know.
Not very far.
Not today. It doesn't go. It didn't go as far as it used to. Dan, welcome to all the way up to Santa Rosa.
Yeah. Dan Ellicamp, I drive an Ioniq 5, and I would give everyone a windshield squeegee with an extra long handle.
Windshield squeegee. That's good. I think all EV drivers have dirty windshields. I think that's there should be those cleaners at EA and Tesla. They don't have. Okay, let's see what we're doing here, Cecilia. Go to the next one. Let's see, chapter business. So I think we all know this stuff. We are a chapter of the EVA, and our mission is to educate and advocate for the rapid adoption of electric vehicles. We send out 3 emails from the club email address, unless I send them from myself because I forget, or I decide to send another one anyway. We have a Facebook group, which could use a little bit of more action on it. So if you are on Facebook, have a look at that once a week and make comments on it. That helps build readership. And then, of course, you probably all got here through NBEAA.org on our website. So I read that whole thing a little out of order, but that's how you get a hold of us. Let's go to the next slide. And we now have a history of 5 or 6 years of our meetings.
And this year you showed me how to start the YouTube.
Yeah.
That was 2000 when COVID started.
Yeah.
So we have 60 meetings.
So going viral for us means a viewership of 20. That means we're knocking it out of the park, but we do have a good documentation of everything.
It looked like you and me watched last month's.
That's right.
Because you were gone, yeah.
That's right. So there's 2.
I went part of it too.
Yeah,
Very good, very good.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one. And let's see, talked about club, discuss. Anyone can join and write to the group. So if you want to get into the dialogue on what's happening between meetings, discuss is a great forum for that. And then if you find things that you want us to talk about, post them into the news chat, and we'll put a slide together for it. We can bring it up, or you can make a slide. I'm not picky, no pride of authorship here or ownership here, but if there's things, feel free to things that are of interest. They go, other people might be interested in this. Send those to the news at NBEAA.org. And then Cecilia mentioned that she's working on creating a history of all the prior meetings and putting them into a vault for us. Did I get that right? The chat sort of popped up and went away quick.
Yeah, we have a summary of previous meetings. Some of those are on the website now, but it's a work in progress to get all the ones that were on the previous iteration of the site. This is what I'm going through, editing to make sure that they are formatted nicely and all that.
Okay. Well, so wow.
We also have. We got to clean up the Google Drive because we have all the working notes we had for every meeting as well. Probably going back 5 years.
Oh, right. Right.
We can just keep the PDFs, I think.
Is that
when you're done with that, Jerry? Let me know. Okay, so, let's see, something Mike Platt would be on for this one, but ZAP is a zero emission assurance program. This was an email pushed out through the national organization. And it's a California Air Resources Board initiative looking to establish or identify a network of all the qualified EV unique repair facilities. And it turns out there's some taxpayer or some funding behind it. There's some revenue opportunities of $450 per diagnostic and up to $7,500 per repair. Pre-screened customers can refer directly to the facility, and the program will handle payments up to $7,500. So it's rather a big deal to get these businesses sort of aligned with ZAP. And these are California residents who they serve. California residents purchase the EVs through any of the CARB incentive programs. I think that might be you, right, John? Isn't one of your search driving like you stole it was one
I
of
think it is. It's
CARB,
through the Bay Area Air Quality District.
Yeah.
They got funding from these places. Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be used.
Are they creating a directory as well? I think yesterday I went searching.
Yeah, I think
for
direct.
EV repair facilities and nothing on them, just a wild search actually brings you up a list that says, hey, this is shop that specializes in things.
Right. I think that's the problem. And I think that's
Yeah.
part of what they're trying to do and then provide funding to those, kind of encourage people to.
Well, I don't even care about funding. I just want to find, you can go someplace to a repair shop with the old car and say, okay, I'll take care of that. Or I do Volkswagens, I don't do.
Right. Or other than dealers, right?
Dealers, yeah.
Yeah, so I know the Bay Area Quality Management District had that list.
Do they?
Well, they have a list of participating dealerships for EV sales.
Yeah, but
But I don't know about repair.
Yeah, that's new.
But maybe if it's the California Resources Board, maybe that's.
Be two levels too, because K-Tech and Sebastopol works on these, but not high voltage. So like, they're comfortable doing certain things around the edges of your, plug-in hybrid. Or whatever, but then there are times when they say, oh, we don't do this. So.
You don't touch orange wires. Yeah.
So I had found that Pep Boys was advertising at the national level. They would do EVs, but then they closed the Pep Boys in the Bay, right?
Yeah,
They're on
right.
Park and.
They'll change the oil on them?
Yeah.
That's what they'll do. Yeah. They're gonna pull something out of the bottom. Let's see, they need to be a current bar automotive repair dealer, ASC light certified certification. They need to have all the high voltage equipment and liability insurance, so.
John, can you read the link down there? I can't. find it.
Yep, well, you can get it off.
You get it.
Look it up. But it's drivingcleanca.org /zap/. So the
Electric vehicles qualify?
doesn't say. It doesn't say about that. I can't, I don't know the answer to that. That's a good one. This data call that came out though was to help them identify the ones that are local, because they don't know. They're looking for everybody to step up and say, these guys meet the requirements, and they'll put them on the list. That's what they're trying to build that list. Go to the next one. Okay, so I was watching PBS last week, and if we may come back to this if there's time at the end, but this was an interesting solution, taking us a sort of a German strategy to creating plug-in solar modules. So in Germany, you can buy a microinverter, a panel or two, put them on a rack in front of your house, and plug them into the outlet. That's what they do. They back drive electricity into your outlet. It does mean that you have to do the panel mod to make sure that the electrons are flowing in one way, not the other. Keep them all local, but it's a fairly low cost way for this capability. So it's 400 watts of solar I found this one on Plug Solar, 400 watts of solar for $1,000. It's just a panel that you put on an extension cord in your backyard. So on a hot day or a bright day, you might get 2 kilowatt hours per day. And that's a way to. Now, I think in California, I don't know if it's 100%.
You have to really like.
What's that?
I think you'd have to be really lucky to get 2 kilowatt hours out of that, out of one panel.
For 5 hours, 400 watts for 5 hours.
20 panels.
Yeah. And you get 10 kilowatts out of it. 20.
Well, I can get in the middle of the summer, I can get 33. Right?
There you go. There you go. So
I don't know.
I'm just doing anyway. Okay. All right. Anyway, there's a video attached about this, and so it was certainly an interesting way. I think this woman that was being interviewed here was pretty happy about it as a way to push back on these prices are insane, right? It's so we're in the 50-cent range.
I was telling you the prices for repairing my friend's solar.
Yeah.
Had the quote of $25,000 to repair his solar. Now we didn't buy new panels and put out panels, don't go bad. We replaced all the inverters. 18 inverters, in phase, brand new, in phase inverters, $2,400. Okay, you plug the inverter into the panel and you have 220 coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's only $150 an inverter, right?
Yeah.
It was 140 actually.
Yeah.
Last year was 18. We got 18 panels, so they don't sell them by 16. They sell 18.
Yeah.
So we only need 16, so he has 2 spares. So the 140 inverter, then cabling that goes along with it. And you can just plug right in the panel.
Yeah, so I think that is for a qualified install, all that, who are looking for NEM and dealing with CARB and PG&E and all that. I think this is really just a bootleg solution. Dude rolls up, tosses 2 panels, you plug them into your plug, and then you put one of those.
Why is that okay?
Well, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying it's like growing pot in your backyard, honestly. But it's a way to fight back against these 50 cents a kilowatt prices. And I'm telling you, it's happening. People are like, what are we doing? And it's a low cost way to push back a little bit.
Something to come back on this becomes popular. The reason for the Connect is number one, is make sure the equipment knows how to get it fixed. Second one is this. The reason PG&E limited it in most cases, their wires can't take it if you load up one part of the branch with solar. When the sun comes out, everybody's generating. When the sun stops, everybody stops. They all start generating. You could exceed the peak on the line because they're doing their calculation based on demand, not based on supply.
Isn't this not?
Yeah, this isn't pushing it to the grid. This is not grid tied.
Well, wait a second, it's
This
moving it to your house.
This just pushes it to your house.
He says
Isn't your house connected to the
well,
grid?
he says
there's a detector that you put on your incoming
Right. Can't push up.
that you can't push out. This is behind the, what do you guys call it? Behind the meter?
Yeah.
Right. It's a behind the meter solution.
Okay.
And that's in this, those switches, those bypass switches are another $1,000. That's one of the.
Oh, I thought it was part of the cost. It's not part of the cost.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
They make some manual ones, which are kind of pokey, that are cheap.
Yeah.
But that means it's manual. You have to go out there and flip the switch.
Flip the switch.
Right.
You know, and then flip it back.
Got it.
But what you need is an automatic one.
Those are.
Yeah.
All right, more research required.
The thing that keeps me moving forward is the fact that we lose our grandfather status.
Yeah.
If we
I think you
add
will,
anything new to our, we've got it.
You're right.
Sounds like this might be a good solution for like a water well pump. 'Cause if you have 5 hours of electricity a day,
right,
it can pump it into like a storage tank.
Yeah.
And then,
right.
So if it's far away from the grid,
right.
So Dom, I looked at my PG&E bill though last night.
Yeah.
In the winter, the difference, the range of PG&E's rate is 33 to 37 cents. And that's, but in the summer, it's like much bigger.
Yeah.
And so I can tell my wife, okay, don't worry about washing clothes or stuff in the people.
Does that look too? Which schedule?
We should probably move on.
Well,
Yeah, we should move
that
on.
detail
Let's
I
go to the
think-
next slide. Yeah. Please.
Caleb had a question about that. Do you want to ask your question?
Yeah. go ahead, Caleb. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to note that I put some stuff in the chat, but some of these systems are actually legal in the US today. Utah kind of led the charge with they allow up to 1200 watts of backfeed through a standard outlet type of configuration. And other states, mostly on the east, are looking to follow that legislation. It's just like improved accessibility to solar.
Very good. Well, thanks, Caleb. All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay, so I put together this slide with John, and as many of you may know, the community market level 2 EVSE has been kind of on and off working for the last few years, and so John and I were able to do some, kind of minor repairs on it at first, but then what we think was happening is there were two, what we would call like a drive-away wall being plugged in. Given the internal damage in the kind of the J1772 pistol and inside the EVSE, just the damage indicated to us that there was, a drive-away, one or possibly two. Anyway, so we were able to connect Community Market with Sonoma Clean Power, and they have a community charge program that offers free level 2 EVSEs for eligible organizations, such as Community Market. So this past summer and fall, Community Market has been working with Sonoma Clean Power to get this new Wallbox Pulsar Plus. And just this last couple weeks, it's been installed and set to their, a 32 amp limit based on their electrical setup. And John and I were able to test it with our Chevy Bolt, and it's working. And I just wanted to let everyone know, if you're in the Santa Rosa area, that it is free for customer use. And we're just excited to share that with everyone. It's been kind of a long process with Community Market and Sonoma Clean Power, and John and I and all of us have been working together to make this happen, and we're excited that it is ready to go for the community.
Hey, all right.
Did you want to add anything, John, to that?
Great news.
Well, just yeah, it's just it's a not something we should talk about now because it's a big discussion, but yeah, why were there two drive-away events? And it's suspicious that it's because in my experience and my memory that all production EVs have had a drive-away protection feature. With J1772, it's one of the main points about it is when it's connected, the car knows it's connected, etc. So probably either a faulty EV, which is unlikely, but or a do-it-yourself EV. So, I kind of feel bad because, we're Brian and I and everybody here is in the do-it-yourself EV world. I hate to have anybody in that world doing this, but it's pretty irresponsible to do that and not tell someone, but that's a judgment call. I just hopefully it won't happen again. Sure.
This is also maybe a big topic, but does anyone here get issued notices from their vehicle manufacturer or the dealership where they bought their vehicle about software updates for what you're describing in terms of?
Yeah, at least it's pretty common to get software updates. Yeah.
Okay.
But that kind of thing is so basic. It's almost hardwired in there. It would be really weird if a production EV didn't do that, didn't prevent that.
Maybe it was a portable battery in the back of the pickup.
Interesting question. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Very weird.
Well, but we're excited about it and hope it doesn't happen again. But
But yeah, it is good for us all to know about this program that Sonoma Clean Power does have that's called the Community Charge Program. I don't know the details about which organizations are eligible, but it is a good resource for the community. If you know an organization that is looking for a level 2 EVSE, it would be good for them to contact Sonoma Clean Power and see if they're eligible. So it's a pretty cool program.
And this is the Santa Rosa community market. The Sebastopol does not have a EV as far as I know, but they would be eligible. So. Same management.
That's very good. Because there's only one at this location, does anyone, I mean, I've seen it there because I go there a lot. Do you guys know where the nearest EV charger to this one is?
There are quite a few in Santa Rosa. You just look at plug shares.
Okay.
Around the county building.
County building, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Alan.
Okay, let's go to the next slide.
Okay, yeah, next slide.
Okay, I guess I can talk about this. This relates to, excuse me, Ellen and my experience with the, okay, the Clean Cars for All. I got a frog in my throat. So Clean Cars for All is a Bay Area Air Quality District program that for low income for getting old gas vehicles off the road and EVs on the road for people with low income. And I asked the program manager, and he said that, about the details about how it was sitting in November. That was mid-November. He said that it's a $10 million program, grants from the California Climate Investments, and I'm not sure exactly where that is, but and the Transportation Fund for Clean Air. So those are two places the funding came from. Funding was expected to serve 700 to 800 participants, like Ellen and myself and my wife Robin. And there's half of the funds remaining. So in November. So it's good to know that there is more out there for people to apply for. If you're in a mid to low range income bracket, it's quite a program. I was thinking it also has a program for bicycles. So all sorts of different transportation oriented support in a significant quantity. So $10,000 or $12,000 depending on your residential location for vehicles and there's bikes, there's charge cards, and a lot of things. So it's cool that that's still happening and they haven't expended the funds yet. That's the main thing.
So John, it also includes some of the wiring that connects the charger to the panel and all that stuff.
There's up to $2,000 for a home charger installation that requires wiring and contractor support. So that's there for you. But it's all kind of, the charging part is sort of an aside to the purchasing a vehicle side. So it's we were able to get through both of those. So we got this portable charger. It's a Grizzle E that I did some research and I kind of like the program. It's a Canadian manufacturer, and they seem to they're doing it. Just this is the thing they do. Chargers, EVSEs for a home and public use. So we got it put in a proposal, and we got approved for it. We just received it in the mail this last week, and then now we wait for reimbursement. But this is a $480 portable EV, so it's not one of the cheap ones like Jerry was talking about last time. But I feel like they're really good quality. It's up to 40 amps, and there are a lot of documents to do for these programs, so be prepared. One of the comments Ellen and I had is that about the program is just there's so many documents and so much technology required in a way to submit this. I feel Ellen and I are fortunate that we have the wherewithal, to do that, and the computers and the knowledge about how to use them. But I think, a lot of people in mid to low income may not be. So I'm interested to know how that works practically for many people to go through this process. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
Yes. Very good. Thank you, John. Thank you all. Next slide.
And we do have the EVSE that we could show you at the end in the back of the Equinox if you want to see it. In addition to our Equinox, we can show you.
Yeah, we got done a little early.
I submitted the Waymo information here. a few of you might have seen that in the news that Waymo was approved by the DMV to operate in a larger area of Northern California. The map there spreads out up to Sea Ranch, up to Cloverdale, and then over to Sacramento. So this is an area that includes testing and operations. And they call it the Operational Design Designation, or ODD, which I love. So ODD will include all weather and hours. And so that on the DMV site, which is linked below, you can see that it's listed, any restrictions, and it's like, no restrictions, none at all.
Highway one, huh?
Yeah, anything you guys want.
Be the first to drive Highway
Yeah.
1.
In the rain.
Yeah.
In the rain.
That night.
It includes specifically what models are approved for this, which are the Zeekr that they more newly announced, and the Jaguar I-Pace that you've probably all seen. So there was some speculation on one of the Reddit sites, like, oh, well, that means that Waymo's gonna do buses and trucks. That's what's gonna really make them some money. But this particular approval specifically listed the models Zeekr and I-Pace. So I don't know where that speculation came from. Testing and operations also may not include passenger occupation, because in the past, I think that they went to a second level of approval to get now you can take riders.
Take riders.
Yeah, so that was something that wasn't super spelled out in terms of the news articles. But I think that we'll see that kind of rollout. And people said, hey, it doesn't mean that they have to operate in this entire area. They might put some restrictions, like you can't hail one in Special. No. So we'll learn that over time too. But did anyone think within 2 years you might be in downtown Sebastopol hailing a Waymo?
It's really gross.
Like Jerry mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, the recent expansions for Waymo are that you can now take them throughout San Francisco, down the 101, and throughout the peninsula. And you can do curbside at San Jose County. So there was a separate approval that Waymo received to do curbside in San Jose at the airport. So that I assume means that they aren't doing curbside at SFO right now, although they're doing that whole corridor in general. Also, they have 1,000 vehicles. So when you think about 1,000 vehicles spread across the peninsula, they need a lot more vehicles to have any kind of saturation, I would think, in other areas. But that would be probably what their new relationship with Zeekr might be all about. And I had this kind of thought about how are they going to make money? Because that's probably, what's going to drive them, right? And they need to charge the equivalent of other ride shares, I would assume, to be competitive. So they're certainly not in a position to undercut other ride shares in any, significant way. So I guess we're going to learn over time, but volume is probably a way to try to mitigate.
There's an awful lot of Waymos in San Francisco. We're just down there.
Yeah.
And but they cost more than Uber. By I don't know. We had a $20 roughly cheap. They're all 30 and 40%. Yeah.
But they're a lot more fun. They're a lot more fun.
So
I saw the Waymos on Highway 280 and on 380 and 101 2 months ago. And I thought they were operating, but they were on the test mode at that point. So I thought they were going to SFO. I don't know if they were doing drop off. Getting very close to this.
Yeah, no, they're approved in taking riders up and down 101 now. Yeah.
Those cars are what, a couple $100,000 a piece, with all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Tesla, and of course, I'm not a Musk fan, but Tesla is talking about bringing out their app and letting people use it to with their cars, and if they have it without driving,
I mean, you could get the price way. You know, you left the driver out, of the equation.
Of an Uber, Lyft, right?
Yeah.
What type of ride?
Well, it'd be Uber or Lyft type, exactly. But without without a driver.
They do that in Vegas.
Do they?
Yeah, they do that in Vegas. If you get a chance, look up Mark Rober. Mark Rober did I don't know if anybody knows who Mark Rober is, the YouTube guy. He's the guy that did the squirrels test in the backyard about how to see what a squirrel can go get, and squirrels can get basically anything. He also did the same thing with octopus, see how smart octopus are. Anyway, he did this thing with Teslas and cars with LiDAR. And he did the Bugs Bunny test to it, which was paint a scene on a brick wall of the road. And it's interesting to see the Tesla went directly into the brick wall. And all the LiDAR radar cars all went, whoa, 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 whoa. And the Tesla hit that thing straight on.
I heard on the radio on Thursday as I was driving down south that Rivian had announced their self-driving and the tests that they've done in order of magnitude better than what Tesla has offered so far. And part of it is the sensors.
LiDAR and radar.
They didn't write up Tesla because the current state of Tesla is that they still have people in their self-driving cars monitoring the process, so they're not autonomous robotaxis yet. But Elon Musk announced they'll be ready in 3 weeks.
Yeah, right.
3 weeks.
Yeah, I would say that I came all over here without ever touching steering.
Yeah.
But maybe back to the Waymo is, so when I saw that on the news, two different nights news, all the reporters came up to Sonoma County and were interviewing wineries because they really thought this is gonna be a real tourism benefit thing for Sonoma County, Sonoma and Napa County to get people to come up and not have to drive.
And Sea Ranch was on that list, if I remember.
Yeah.
The perfect use case, Sea Ranch down in the wineries on Highway 1 in the rain at night.
Yeah. Wouldn't get in or out of someone else.
Yeah, this thing's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you have this one?
Yeah, this one's mine too. So the Zoot service is up and running right now, but it's a much smaller service area. It's concentrating in South Market and in San Francisco in general. They began free rides in mid-November. And you could go download their app and ask to, get onto the service. And they're just about, to start charging people and get into that kind of range, but they're up and running and people are getting into them. I don't know how many Zoox cars they have running in this small service area of San Francisco right now. It's a purpose-built vehicle out of Hayward. You can kind of see on the left side the sliding doors that open. Also, these headlights in the front it has two fronts basically. It has two sets of headlights. There's two front sides. The headlights also act as brake lights when it's going the opposite direction. So it's a complete push me pull you kind of situation. Yeah, and it has like little bench seats on the inside where you're facing each other, so that might be a little bit better winery experience for going up and stuff. It looks like something that shouldn't go 70 miles an hour, but and also the one picture where people were seated in it, it made you think like, oh yeah, it's not as tall as a person. It's not like, don't get the sense that that's like truck sized and Dominic walks right into it and standing there and then sits down. It's like, no, you have to crawl into it and not stand while you're in it.
Right.
So I thought it was really cute and great. I don't know if it feels super comfortable at high speeds, but you can kind of see the LiDAR is set on 4 corners. Again, the front is the back, so you're looking at the back or the front, and you can kind of see those little conical things on the four corners.
Right.
So it is pretty.
Up in the top corner.
And
Yeah.
it includes like Wi-Fi on the inside, so you can do your work and whatever else, but they designed it as a public transit kind of, as a workplace, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, and I could imagine it being one where they did what's the name for Uber's ride share, where you share the car with someone else, like you could get in with strangers and just all go down and.
I'd love to see things like this getting in place where discontinuities for public transit. You get off the train and I don't need to wait for the shuttle. There's one of these I'm gonna sit on, it's gonna take me there. Move the bloody ferry terminal off, take a place for the ferry to go faster and get into one of these. We don't have to run the train all the way down.
Right.
There's discontinuities inside the city. We're gonna spend $200 million, I forgot what the number is, to take Caltrain to make it to the transit center. Oh, what if you got off Caltrain and 15 of those were here, you sat and wanted to be down the road and dropped you at, it's a long walk otherwise.
Yeah, right.
These look a lot like the gondola. You know, like you just line up for your gondola.
Right.
One thing I've shared on Facebook a number of times when the topic came up is the kind of gaps in public transportation. So you can take the number 30 Sonoma County Transit from Santa Rosa to Sonoma, eastern Sonoma County. There isn't a way to get from the town of Sonoma or city of Sonoma to the city of Napa, which is like a 20 or 25-minute drive. No direct way by public transit, so it just doesn't exist. You have to go like 5 or 7 hours to be around through the Bay. Well, yeah, it's kind of nuts.
Well,
And so my final note on this is that I didn't put a slide together, but you know, if you Uber and Lyft are creating arrangements with Waymo and Soups, and so you're going to start seeing blended partnerships where you can call an Uber and I mean maybe 1 out of 200 times it'll be like, hey, do you want a self-driving? Or you opt in for it. It'll be one of their cars, you know. So there's going to be a little blending there.
What do they use for cars?
Uber's going to use the ones they have, the Jaguar I-Pace and the Zeekr from Waymo. So it'll be a business partnership between Waymo and Uber in certain cities.
Did you ride on either of these in your when? Have not yet. Okay.
No, so by the time I got done putting a slice together, I was like, oh, I need to check these out.
Yeah, right.
Without a bigger presentation.
Yeah, right. Jerry, you said you had.
I love Waymo. I use it whenever I go into the city. It's great.
Okay.
Well, maybe I need some tips from you.
It's just fascinating. It's fascinating to observe the technology and what's happening.
Well, we were just
Whoa, what's going on? Sorry, what?
The doors were locked. I couldn't get in.
Then
time ran out. It drove away.
Well,
and so they charged me $5.
Oh, that was a bad experience.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's something I don't understand about how it works.
Yeah.
Your initials should have appeared on the top.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't
And
yours.
Waymo was-
Yeah.
None showed up and they charged me $5.
Oh,
Yeah, my son who lives in the city, he takes it.
yeah.
His experience was that you're freaked out about it for 30 seconds
Yep.
and then
A
you're
millisecond.
gonna go do what you're gonna go
Hot
do.
dog. Yeah.
Simple as that. It
Right.
drives great.
Great.
My friend who I visited yesterday, his daughter, she's in City. She won't take a taxi. She won't take an Uber. She'll only take it when she feels safer.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's press on here. Thank you for putting this together. This is great.
Yeah, I like it.
So we have our own Sebastopol's own Steve Pierce is going to talk about work that he's done on Climate City, if I recall.
City climate.
City
yeah.
climate.
People online, let us know if you can hear okay.
So I built this website a few years back. There was some work that we did in Sebastopol that Jerry was intimately involved with. Also Zeno, who I think also used to come to these meetings, and Robert Uleman, who is a data analyst who used to be employed with IBM and now retired. And also Phil Carter, who is now a city council person in Sebastopol. So we met and we spent a lot of time looking at metrics and how we can organize metrics. And one of the outgrowths of that effort was a website that I put together with input from the metrics team. And that website really was geared towards identifying trends for climate. So trends in gasoline usage, EV adoption, now okay. So, this is not a greenhouse gas reporting site because there's lots of those all over the place. And quite honestly, sometimes a metric ton of greenhouse gases, it's kind of a hard concept to get your mind around, where people can see, well, how many gallons of gasoline or what kind of solar adoption has there been? So that's what these trends are in. It's in kind of things that people can understand in terms of I consume so many therms per month or kilowatt hours, and that data is all available. So I wanted to have something where you could compare cities and counties to each other in terms of what are the trends in those various items. A lot of times cities and counties, they don't want to be the first on something, but they also don't want to be the last.
Right.
And they oftentimes will look at a program and the first question they'll ask is, well, what are other cities doing in that?
Right.
Especially in the city we live.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of endemic to all cities. They have very limited budgets, and they want to make sure that they're not necessarily out on the cutting edge of things, but they don't want to be laggards.
Right.
Yeah, somebody's got to be the cutting edge. Some cities definitely do that cutting edge work, but when times are tight financially, that tends to constrict. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah, sure.
So I also wanted to see, well, what are some of the impacts of bigger things that are happening? So bigger things being like changes in net metering or the pandemic or our fires that we've had here or in Southern California. We should be seeing the changes in the trend lines, and we do, and including the contraction of tax credits and how that impacts various consumption. So that data, we go ahead and one of the things I did want to do is I wanted to learn how to do some web development. I'd always kind of done more desktop development. Used to have a Title 24 energy consulting business in Berkeley for 12 years, and then I switched over to become a programmer and worked with business apps, all desktop. So I wanted to learn some more web development.
Okay.
And this was a good opportunity to do that. So all the data that's available from the DMV, the California Energy Commission, all the investor-owned utilities, the Department of Transportation and Cal Recycle, it's all publicly available. And I extracted the data from a lot of it is Excel sheets that's out there on the internet, and it's all now in a SQL Server database with 10.6 million records. So it's a lot of data. It's all the data that I could find in these various sources. So some of it goes back quite far. And
You only mentioned investor owned. How about municipal?
Well, I'll get to the limitations.
Okay.
That is one of the limitations. I plan on updating this data every year. And as you dig into the site, you can see you can kind of customize what the graphs that are shown from the data. So there's a lot of customization you can do. And then you can download the data yourself and play with it in terms of Excel or CSV files. And you can query using the website to filter it down to a much smaller data set.
So are you fetching the data every time? Or are you digesting or ingesting the data to your own local 10 million record location and then parsing it from there?
I have the data all digested down. Yeah.
Okay.
And some of it even digested, the performance was really poor. So I had to then summarize data to make it be more.
Making it consistent is actually one of the major problems too. It's form that you get from one agency versus another one. Entirely different.
Right. And some data is not by zip code. For instance, transit agencies or waste disposal agencies, but everything else, and gasoline consumption also not by zip code. So if we go ahead onto that next slide. So you were mentioning the muni utilities. Yeah. There's no data publicly available that I can find on that. It's kind of unfortunate. So you're missing some of the big boys like Sacramento, probably being the biggest there. And some smaller ones, I guess Healdsburg has Ukiah, yeah. And the gasoline and the diesel data, that was from the California Energy Commission, and they don't have any data for small cities like Sebastopol or anything down to the zip code level. And I actually submitted a public records request to the California Energy Commission to try to get more of that data. And the response was, we don't have zip code information, which sounds like, okay, that all the stations by law have to report to the California Energy Commission their annual sales.
They don't know where the data is.
Yeah, that sounds.
No, they probably have the address. Now you need a whole nother database to say this address is in the zip code.
Right. But you know that there's concerns of you're divulging sensitive business information if they get down to that level. But that's, you know, I was fine with it at the zip code level, but they said no on that public records request.
There are some zip codes that only have one gas station.
That's true. I was saying just lump them together with other nearby zip codes if that was the case. But anyway, the next big limitation is for the public utilities. There's what's called a 15-15 rule. They do not produce any data where there are only 15 customers in a designated area, like a zip code, which, you know, that's probably not that big of a deal. Maybe commercial places that could be a bigger deal. But the real limitation is if you consume more than 15% in that area, they're not going to report on it, which is really unfortunate. So that same limitation even applies to like the Climate Protection Authority. When they do their greenhouse gas inventories, they don't get that information on bigger consumers. They're able to get some information directly from Sonoma Clean Power. For instance, Sonoma State, they were able to trace it down there. But that to me is a pretty big limitation. And you know, I wish it was more like 30% or something like that. Is it 15% level? That doesn't seem like, why are we leaving out that requirement that we don't have bigger reporters?
So the Sonoma Clean Power, is it classified as public utility?
No,
It's not.
no.
So a public utility means it's a public utility, but privately owned. that
Right.
basically it?
Well, I don't know what,
There's municipal owned, then
Yeah.
there's investor, and then there's investor owned.
It's probably like just Palo Alto, Healdsburg.
Places that PG&E are
Hmm?
places where PG&E is not.
Yeah, the municipal utilities own the electrical lines, and the billing, Solar Clean Power just buys, procures.
I understand how that works. In Palo Alto, for instance, they own the lines and they procure all the power. Are they a public utility? Are they not a public?
Yeah.
They're public
Okay.
utilities, they're not.
Correct.
So I'm gonna step in here and try to encourage us to hold our questions to the end, because we could discuss every slide and then never get through. That's just my opinion, and I'm trying to encourage us to let you keep going.
Okay, I'm actually okay with the question,
I know you're.
but we're time limited,
Yeah,
so,
it's just a time limit, and
Yeah.
if we will have time at the end.
okay.
I mean, if there's an urgent thing, go ahead.
Yeah.
Or if you want to pause and ask, if you have
Sure.
questions, that's fine, but I want to make sure that.
Okay. So another thing is, there's no public data on propane use. And statewide, it's 3.5% of all space heating is done with propane. I assume in Sonoma County it's probably something like that. So we're certainly missing that data. And then one of the bigger ones might be around zip code boundaries. So for instance, Sebastopol, 7,000 people live in town, but we're part of a zip code that includes, 40,000 people. So that's one example. And another example might be the city of Piedmont. They have 5 zip codes there. Most of them are in Oakland, one in Berkeley. So there really isn't good data if you were to try to say, well, here's the city of Piedmont, when all the data is at the zip code level. And then I'm not accounting for weather. So you will see swings in natural gas use, and it's most likely weather. I just haven't included that. That getting that down to the zip code level is kind of hard data to find.
That could be substantial. I was just thinking of graphs of solar that I collected this last in December and in November compared to last year. It's like 30% of what last year was because of the weather.
Yeah. So kind of other uses beyond just looking at trend lines are how do the cities and counties compare with each other? There's rankings. All the cities are ranked for each of the categories that we'll be looking at. And that's another thing that cities, how are we doing compared to everybody else? And you can then use that data to produce custom reports for a city. A lot of cities don't have departments where they have people working on climate, but they could actually grab information from the site and produce some reports that would give them an idea of how they're doing. And then individuals can look and see, well, we know down to the zip code level what the average consumption is. How are you compared to the rest of the people in your zip code? And then when it comes to solar, the state actually requires each of the intertie applications to submit their information. And there is information about what the solar installers are charging for each of the installations. So you can use this data to determine, oh, what are some prices in my area?
Or get a first inspection, or what's the inspection?
I don't think so, but
So building department plan looks so PG&E never shows up. They'll look at the report. They've done that twice, 3 times. The only if you have a building permit, and they might show up, it might not. Steve doesn't necessarily show. So it's synergy.
okay, if we move on to the next slide.
Go.
And start at the state level here. So we can see that the progression of electric vehicles here, this is all statewide. Oops, excuse me. Ooh.
with this mouse here.
You need help.
I'm gonna kill the mouse. It's either a scratch pad or a mouse.
Just want to get
How did you get rid of that?
Click back onto this. Just click over here somewhere.
There we go.
Click anywhere over there. It does that when you go.
Yeah, to the far right.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. Well, I hate it, dude.
So the way the site is organized is you can filter down to the county you want to look at, the city, and the zip code. The city list will filter down to whatever county you chose, and the zip code list will filter down to the city list that you chose. There's multiple zip codes. And then you can compare multiple entities up to 3, and then the graphs will reflect that. It'll show 3 counties or 3 cities or 3 zip codes in each of the graphs. And as we get into this, we'll see that both gasoline and diesel use, we're seeing a slow decline in use there. And you can.
That was actually starting before the pandemic, and that trend line looks like the pandemic really hit it, but
Yeah,
now it's just right back on that same trend line.
Almost all the graphs, except for solar, you'll see that drop of the pandemic.
Yeah, right.
Impact of the pandemic.
Right.
So over on the right here, it's all the cities in the state ranked by their electric vehicle adoption in 2024. So it's not too surprising who we see at the top of the list there, the most affluent city in California.
Right.
And if we were to go down to the bottom of the list, it's the most rural areas in the state. No big surprise there.
I asked the question the other day of how many plug-in electric vehicles are in California today. And the answer I got was 6 million plug-in electric vehicles. This is the 1 out of every 16 vehicles in the state. I was sorry, 6%. 1 out of every 16 vehicles in the state is plug-in electric.
I'm going to go ahead and drag this out of the way and show you some of the stuff that's off to the right here. Yeah. So within the settings, you can specify what you want to show. So we can show the heavy duty electric vehicles. There's not a lot of adoption there, as it's not too surprising. You can break down the gasoline. There's a difference between what has been estimated by California Energy Commission and what's been reported, because a lot of stations don't report, even though they're required to.
Even though they're required to report,
yeah,
they don't.
I don't think there's a lot of follow-up, auditing to make sure that those who should do report. I'm going to also show a count of all vehicles here, because that has some interesting information. So you can see down to natural gas, you can decide what sector you want to show. Most PG&E land only has residential and commercial. Southern California, you get into industrial data.
Yeah.
And then you can show number of accounts. You can show the average therms per month per account.
Oh, wow.
And then electricity, you have industrial and agriculture. Once again, PG&E doesn't really have data on that. And then with solar, they break it down quite a bit. That you can show all these different sectors of solar adoption. And then I also include storage. And you can say, well, how many solar installations have there been? And what I'm showing now is output, kilowatts. And then you can also show average cost per watt. And that's all broken down to the city, the county, the zip code.
And then I think Jerry was the one who suggested, let's have a way to show, well, what do we expect in terms of output? So here's a default value of 120 kilowatt hours per installed kilowatt. So you can actually determine, well, what kind of output can we expect from all the solar installations that are being reported? And the solar installations are tied anytime you have an intertie agreement, which is basically all solar, unless you were off the grid.
Right.
Then it gets reported to the state.
Part of my interest in this metrics was, okay, we have more EVs, we have more solar, and we're converting from natural gas to electric. So I wanted to see, for all the programs that we have, how might that influence the change in the electrical demand? You would expect it, but a lot more solar. It turned out one of the stats we came up with from Steve's charts was that 1 out of 3 homes in our zip code has solar installed. That blew me away. And then we looked at the percentage of EVs coming in, and then we looked at the amount of electricity imported by PG&E into the zip code. And it was interesting that wasn't going down all that fast, because as the cars come in and the solar goes in, we have offsets.
Right.
The one that really blew us away was natural gas continuing to grow. And we couldn't figure that one out. Wow.
Yeah, Sebastopol is actually the worst in the county when it comes to natural gas on a per account level. We don't know why that is. We speculate, we have older population.
They turn the thermostat.
Yeah, they turn the thermostat. Maybe bigger houses. But a lot of these things, to know why something's happening in the data, that's a really difficult thing to figure out. Well, we're not even including the propane number, so.
People could be.
But if people,
Okay, there you go. There you go.
but I like your overpopulation idea, because when you, I know this personally, that when you go from age 60 to age 70, the temperature needs to go up like 5 degrees.
Yeah.
Or you do like I do.
Yeah.
On 4 layers.
Yeah, right.
What Steve allowed us to do was also, instead of just saying, this is the amount of natural gas, this is the amount of natural gas per household.
Yeah.
And that was going up as well.
Bigger houses.
So here's all the data. I did separate out 2024 data. If we look at it, of course I have to save these changes. Put back to the data here for a second. So you get an idea of some of the filtering capabilities, and I know you all have data on your own site here that breaks it down by what types of vehicles are installed. I think you probably got your data from the same data source.
Yeah, Cecilia pulled that together, and if you're free to comment if you want to say something, Cecilia.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's just for just to see the trend over the years of vehicle adoption within our club area.
And that's also pulled annually, like the data that Steve is printing, right, Cecilia?
Yeah, generally is how I've done it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the data that's represented in the charts can be gotten here from the various data sources here on the left. I won't go into that now.
Right.
And you have the transit data as well, right?
Yeah. This is kind of a perplexing trend here of
weird.
all the vehicles. Why did the vehicle use or registered vehicles in California go down during the pandemic? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, that's saying the cars were sold out of state.
Or you could do the PNO, plan non-operation.
Yeah.
During your registration cycle, you could say, I'm here.
Yeah.
And not,
Right,
yeah,
right. Everybody with,
not just one.
yeah,
So what's that swiggly line?
that's the number of cars registered.
Number of registered light duty vehicles. So I
Right.
think, difference between light duty, heavy duty, I think it's 7,500 pounds and above is heavy duty.
That could also show exodus too, right? A
Yeah.
bunch of people.
That's true, left the state.
Scattled out of California.
Yeah,
during the
that's a
pandemic.
good point.
I can't see the number.
Right.
So, right, so 29 million down to
26.
26 million.
No, 3 million.
So they lost
That's fair.
3 million registered light duty vehicles in a year?
Yeah, pandemic.
I think people took
Yeah,
them.
the people that move, leave the state are not usually, electric, oriented type people.
These are all vehicles.
These are all.
All vehicles.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
couldn't it be? All of you. So many people lost their jobs during the pandemic.
They got repossessed.
Or they didn't register their cars, or they sold their cars, or whatever else, and the number of cars was reduced simply because people couldn't afford them.
About commercial fleets of
Back.
light duty vehicles, would you just non-register those?
Yeah.
If they're sitting on a car lot, they're not being registered too.
So going over to transit statewide right now, not looking at any particular agencies. So these are some pretty striking drops in ridership as we all expected during the pandemic. That sure didn't stop operating costs from
When's the last data though? That's
2024.
1 year?
Yeah, this is yearly data. So
We should explain the transit data
23.
is, you pulled that from the US database.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Department.
transit data is actually sent at the end of the fiscal year for the transit agency. So for instance,
October.
here in Sonoma County, the end of the fiscal year 25 was June. So you have 25 data, maybe.
Right, but you've got 23 on the
Yeah.
script.
I think it goes to 24 is the last one there.
And what's the first date? Because I'm having trouble understanding the vision.
1991.
1991.
Yeah.
It's
Now that's what a lot of transit agencies didn't report back in 91. You'd be looking more like BART and some of the bigger transit agencies.
select smart just for fun. Can you do that?
Sure.
That correlates with all the news that says that certain public transit has not recovered, right?
So BART, as we all know, lost quite a few riders.
Yeah,
But your latest
smart,
data there.
Smart train.
The smart train, they
smart
claim
train.
that they're doing better now than they were before the
Yeah,
pandemic.
That's why I wanted to bring that one up. That one's actually
How
very
about
interesting.
we compare?
Oh, cool.
Let's see.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, it's off the graph. That didn't help. So let's just get rid of that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So Smarts actually has more riders now than it did. Well, COVID. That ends at 24.
Passenger.
And then over here, we have that ranking on operating expenses per passenger trip.
I'm glad you have that because that was one of the numbers, when I went to that database to start with, the question I had was per passenger trip. That means you get on the bus, you go from Sebastopol to Santa Rosa. How much does it cost the transit agency to haul you, the individual, one to the other? So we pay what, $1.50 or whatever on the trip. It costs $32 to send me from Sebastopol to Santa Rosa on the bus. On Smart, it's something like $40, I think, or $50.
But wouldn't they measure it based on the bus instead of the person? Because it's the same.
Per person.
But it's the same cost per bus, right? It doesn't matter. how
Well,
many people.
okay, you put two people on the bus.
More
You have to
people,
spread
the
as more people. You fill the bus, now the cost starts to go down.
Just two
okay?
different
But
measurements.
it never gets, no matter if you fill the bus, it would never get down to the fare that we pay.
Oh, absolutely. Subsidized.
It's all subsidized.
Sure.
Oh,
Well, just like the highway construction is subsidized, you gotta bring that up at the same time.
Yeah.
Your gasoline prices are subsidized.
So Steve, the rider, maybe you guys talked about this, but the ridership is up on Smart
But the
and
revenue-
revenue's down. That's because they've lowered the cost.
Exactly.
They've lowered the
right.
revenue.
Yeah, and then I,
For kids and for seniors like
Yeah,
me.
That's
And
right.
not just that, when Eddie took over
Yeah.
running the agency, he reduced all of the fees
Oh,
by
that's amazing.
50%.
Oh, yeah.
And seniors are
It's-
free now.
Seniors are free, everybody up to age
18
18 is free.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
But he
And if you
reduced
have to
the
pay,
fares,
I think it's
people
$3.
start riding.
Yeah.
It was ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, it killed itself with the price.
and then I listed revenue per passenger. I decided, well, like I did it cheapest to most expensive.
Yeah, right.
So that's different
Oh, that's
agencies
cool.
then, that's not this
Each-
market, right?
Yeah, that's all the agencies in the state ranked.
Yeah, but I can't read those numbers, what,
9 cents, 13 cents, 13 cents, 14 cents.
So if we go to the bottom there,
Expensive would be early lift transportation, $20 a ride.
Oh, here, this is
Yosemite Yart is $9.90. Stanislaus Council, $9.30.
fair revenue, wow.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised to see, I was looking for BART over here on this one. And somebody once told me that BART was the second most efficient transit system in the United States, which
BART?
surprised me.
Verdict?
Yeah.
Because it hauls so many people.
One is they keep the cost down, they haul so many people, yeah.
So smart, can you go back to that?
oh, sorry.
But their ridership's down 60% right now, so.
Go back and display smart.
Yeah.
Probably the
It comes up under Sonoma and Apple.
One of the challenges when these guys all report is to figure out which agency is that really, in the Bay Area, we have 27 transit districts. Okay, and there's actually more than 27 entries for the Bay Area on here too. Some of the transit districts report as two different agencies.
So Smart's operating expense is 35 million and their fare collection is 2.2 or something.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So remember when you vote
Yes.
next year,
So a quarter, is that quarter percent or half?
I think it's 4%.
1/4%, in continuation of the 1/4%.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So we're still at state level here showing natural gas. I think the big drop here probably is weather. I don't think it was a particularly cold year in
In
2024.
It's a really big trend. And
So you were saying the one in Sebastopol has been going up.
Well, it kind of reflects the weather too, but
Okay. But the-
it's higher relative to other cities in
Oh.
Sonoma County.
Commercial night.
So here is electricity, and are we starting to see data centers here with commercial? I'd say that's probably a pretty good likelihood, or
That's all
other,
of
this is California.
this is the whole state, yeah. But those data centers, are we back to that 15-15 rule?
They're
They-
back
Oh,
to
yeah.
cheap, they would go to search for cheaper, electric rates.
Right, you would think they would be outside of Las Vegas or something like that.
Before the big uptick, what's the year at the bottom there? Yeah,
Year?
there.
2023,
Okay, so that's all in 2024?
that's right.
That's a huge increase. I'm assuming it's EVs.
And you have to be careful.
Well, it's commercial, so that's really hard to say.
There were other places where we saw from PG&E records, we couldn't explain them, discontinuities in the report. I mean, there was one spot I remember where we ran a spreadsheet and it showed the data was at this level here, and then next year was at this level, and the next year was at that level, and you go, how did we go from one to the other? And it wasn't total.
Well, one time I would have guessed cannabis growing would affect the commercial electricity average in Sonoma County, and then lately we've been hearing, well, cannabis growing is kind of moved to other counties or something, so do you just have such business variance that, what are the huge warehouses doing? Where's the latest Amazon warehouse?
Yeah, commercial could be the Amazon electric, delivery goods.
Electric delivery, yeah.
But somewhere in there has to be LED light bulbs, which is causing the residential to go down.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would even show.
It wouldn't show
No.
up. Heat pumps.
Heat pumps, you would think we would see more of a drive and natural gas use going down with electrification,
Yeah,
but
we're not.
we're not,
There's
yeah.
a couple of weirds there, right? For sure. That big bump there on commercial and then rising natural gas and it's just
It looks like the
counterintuitive.
natural gas, consumption is both going down for residential and commercial. I don't know if it's still 23 to 24, the big drop there.
Yeah, it is. And we think that's probably weather, just like you see back here in 2014.
Oh,
Dry
You
year,
know,
dry warm years.
Yeah.
okay.
But I, not having the weather in it leaves that, we're just kind of speculating. So you see where the natural gas use is the less. It's kind of what you'd expect down in Southern California. No
Right.
big surprise there. And then when you go down to electricity use, well, here's the lowest to the highest. If you go down to who's the highest? Yeah,
We're told about.
yeah. So those
That's
are,
in the whole state?
that's in the whole state.
Wow, so on the peninsula, which has a relatively mild climate, is the highest.
Electric use.
Yeah, there's electric use. So, we're not too surprised. You're seeing affluence drive consumption.
Yeah.
So
Also, the density of electric cars.
Yeah,
in,
that
plus
too.
outlets.
Yeah.
Swimming pool.
Swimming pools are probably a real big one.
Is Atherton high in natural gas too?
I would imagine that's the case. So we go down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The top.
Beverly Hills, Ross, Atherton.
The running furnaces, burning natural
Yeah,
gas.
let them.
Yeah, and pools and hot tubs.
Heating their pool.
Yeah, heating their pools is probably a big one.
Yeah.
Steve, I can't see the numbers on the right for residential and commercial natural gas.
Yeah.
I assume commercial's quite a bit more, but I can't see the numbers.
All
I mean,
right.
I'm sorry, on the left.
It's 10 times higher.
Yeah.
10,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
40 versus 400.
Yeah.
Okay, and is electricity similar? Like there's a 10 times difference between
Yeah.
residential and
Yeah.
commercial? Okay, I can't see it.
Yeah.
12 times.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
6,000
it's way more
versus-
commercial than there is residential use.
Yeah. Back
Right.
to the
Electricity and natural gas.
Well, this
Per
is per customer. This isn't like total aggregate.
Oh.
So I'm trying to, you can show that in total consumption, but I'm choosing to show this right now and
So it's not by kilowatt hours or therms, it's by customer?
you can choose to show that over,
Month per customer.
yeah,
As opposed to total.
But it's an average. So.
right.
Great.
It's an average. It's an average. But you can, in the settings, show the total if you choose to.
Like
Okay.
per square foot of the house. or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right there, right. Right, per drain.
So we get down to solar install. So this is cumulative that I'm showing right now. If I was to go over and switch it to,
So the straight lines are it's some kind of statistical
Yeah.
calculation.
Yeah. So you understand where, before Steve started
Very
doing this,
cool.
we were collecting the data because we felt we needed to have metrics. Why did we need metrics? We didn't just want to report things. We wanted to find out if we made a policy change, would that impact things the way we expected them to be impacted?
Right.
And after running a lot of this stuff up, you look at it and you go, I can't even figure out the things that are naturally occurring. Like I've got more EVs, got more solar panels.
Right.
Why is natural gas going up? Okay. Why is electric per household not going up?
Going down.
Well, it's staying level. Is it the solar versus the cars? You know,
Right.
so here's one we actually can see. Here's the change probably in net metering, the fall off in annualized kilowatts. And that's
Yeah.
pretty dramatic. And there was a large backlog of the data getting actually reported. So you'd have like a 6-month lag on it showing up in their data sets.
Once you bring up storage installed, then you should see the same thing happen in the opposite direction with this. So that's what we do the other thing.
If I lived in Atherton and I had 4 gas fireplaces, I still couldn't sit in front of each of the 4. And
Yeah,
if I ate 3 meals a day and I had a 60-inch stove, I still couldn't run.
There's a change in the
Right.
okay, in the payments that you get. So now solar. So from a policy point of view, everybody, I had a hard time with this. Sorry, I'm orating, but I had a hard time with this because everybody said, "Oh, you're trying to stop solar." That wasn't the reason for the rate changes and the policy changes and the tariff changes. The change was we have to have more storage. How can we force more storage to occur? Tell people you got to store the energy that you're collecting. Okay, it's not that we don't want more solar panels. We'd like to have more solar panels, but you better start storing it because otherwise we have to rewire the grid. And it looks like it works. And look at how solar and storage goes along.
Because I asked about storage, and they said you can't get storage, or you can't get collectors. Without everybody who buys collectors today is also getting a battery.
Synergy Solar, when I bought from them, I wanted storage as well. And when I talked to Mike, he said, I won't put a solar system, and this was 5 years ago. I won't put a solar system on a building unless you have storage.
We said, yeah.
Okay, and
Really?
people would say, well, you just want to make more money. He goes, it doesn't make any sense to just keep putting solar on every building unless you figure out where you're going to put the energy, because the utility ultimately won't have a place to put it all. And they don't. That's why we ship energy out of the state.
That's not what most of the installers are saying.
I know that because most of them don't have the skills to do the batteries and they want to do whatever else.
Yeah. So Steve was.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go on to the waste disposal. I know this isn't something that captivates the people necessarily in this room, but here's something where a policy was put in place long time ago, late 80s, and it required all the jurisdictions, waste disposal jurisdictions, to reduce the amount that is thrown away by 50% by the year 2000. And
Well, your data starts there 2005.
right, unfortunately, their data is spotty. They changed how they measured it to pounds per person per day, or pounds per employee per day. Before that, it was more like raw reduction in pounds total. So I stuck with what they had from 2005. And a lot of those goals for reduction were fairly easy to meet. Most all cities met them by the mid 90s. And if we show a jurisdiction,
Is that just material going to a landfill, or does that also include recycled material?
it's material going to a landfill. So if it's being diverted, then it's not counted.
Okay.
So do you have the recycle poundage too? Is that?
No, there wasn't. I don't have that, but I'm showing just the amount that's disposed. And I think it's safe to say we see these spikes going on per person. The fires, all the rebuild efforts,
Gotcha.
all that disposal that happened during the fires.
Right.
And each of the jurisdictions are ranked how they're doing versus their state goals. Now, these state goals, like I was saying, they've been met long ago. So that there are jurisdictions that are blowing past the numbers isn't too surprising. Palo Alto.
East Palo Alto, kind of different than Palo Alto.
Right.
and Montessorino down there by Saratoga.
Yeah.
You know, they're well past those goals. You know, maybe these goals need to be revisited, and it's not a great number to see how we're doing. There's very, very few jurisdictions that aren't meeting the goals.
But
Yeah.
pounds per person per day is 5 pounds.
Yes.
That's a lot of.
Yes. And what I think what's really interesting here is, you know, is there an opportunity to apply that to natural gas? You know, here we had a set goal from the state saying, you need to reduce it down to this amount, and we're going to measure it this way. But we had
Of natural gas, that was a mandate?
no, we don't have that in natural gas. I'm just saying that, you know, if we were to have a similar policy where cities, we need to see natural gas down like on a per customer or per person level, and we're going to track that. Right now, there's nothing like that statewide.
Well, what could the city do policy wise?
Well, you could say the same. What can the city do policy wise with disposal? People change their behavior. And
Right, but the city has a franchise given to the garbage hauler, so they got some interaction there, but with natural gas, what's the city gonna do to?
well, there are programs for encouraging heat pumps is probably the biggest thing. We'll get to that a little later, but kind of interesting. It's kind of out of our normal stuff with electric vehicles, but nonetheless, here we have the big push now with waste disposal is the organic material, because landfill gas is the second highest methane producer in the state behind cows and dairy. So there's a big push now. How can we reduce the organic material? No good numbers on that kind of metric. We don't know what portion of the stuff thrown away is organic material versus not.
Well, in our household, though, the issue is we're using an organic cat litter. And my wife insists it has to go to the landfill. It can't go into the green bin because they don't want cat waste in the green bin.
So I don't know what you do with that.
So you can have two levels of organic material, you know, and so you could like pass a law that says ecology and other waste
So can we do
management
that by?
companies need to have
Yeah.
cat litter diversion program.
Yes.
Well, a little bit that the county
Our
has
various
difficulty
cities here.
permitting composting toilets. They're not in like a
We can
building.
compare a few counties or just look at
People waste.
Right.
Or water.
I guess,
Santa Clara.
is there a way to
Deal with, like, what do you do with
compare?
waste?
There's no way to make that table in the far right, all of the cities in Sonoma County, is there?
No, that's for the whole state,
That's for the whole state.
the
right?
ranking.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And I can select, 3 counties or 3 cities in Sonoma County. If we just look at the charts and see what pops out to us for Sonoma County,
Mhm.
like we did over on waste disposal. That was a pretty obvious one.
And so those numbers that are going up in that far left, those are total number of registered vehicles, not new registrations.
All registered light duty vehicles
All
in the county.
Oh, okay.
So that's increased. What's the number on the left?
420.
420, so we have less vehicles down to 407, but that's not too big of a change.
Can I pop in for a question?
Sure.
For the rank of like this is back on the waste disposal. There's rankings and percentages, and are the percentage, is that the percentage of the goal, like how much they might be over, and is the ranking like highest to lowest, or is it, am I reading that wrong?
Yeah, it's ranking of how they're doing relative to the goal. So what percent in compliance are they with the goal? And the ranking is the most over compliant would be at the top of the list.
Okay, so 200% would be like half the goal, or like at half the
No,
level.
200% would be at
Double the
oh
goal.
well, yeah, half the disposal, double the goal.
Right. Okay.
Right.
See, this is in the county of Sonoma County?
That is Sonoma County.
We can't have 420,000
No,
Oh, we had more vehicles than people one.
Oh, light vehicle.
light duty, so it doesn't
It's not,
include heavy
not
duty.
EVs, it's- okay.
Right, this is all
That's
vehicles.
Yeah.
And that here, if you were to go,
It's currently around 400,000, right?
yeah,
That's a lot of cars for 600,000 people.
500,000.
That's a lot of cars
Yeah,
for
so
500,000
it
people.
is.
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Especially since
that
a lot of
includes-
them are kids.
Yeah,
That's why
well,
they
maybe
sell.
not.
Well, I don't know if anyone has tried to.
Remember the natural gas problem? None of my kids live here in the county.
So when you get down to choosing a county or city, you can also decide to show it on a therms per person versus per account.
Or per account, okay.
So you just have a factor per person as a household size is?
So the data for number of people in a zip code that Robert Oleman.
Oh, yeah.
He tracked that down. It's called USPS crosswalk data is what it's referred to, and they
provide
that number of people in a zip code.
And
Postal Service is counting people at crosswalks.
Well, no, it's like a term for how they're aggregating data between different data sets.
There's no, I noticed there's no greenhouse gas estimator.
No,
we just don't, that data just doesn't exist. Is that?
it certainly doesn't exist at the zip code or
How about
there,
the state?
at the city level and the state level, that exists. But I wasn't trying to show greenhouse gases because that data is out there and pretty readily available. If you just Google greenhouse gases, it'll take you to the Regional Climate Protection Authority site, and they track that. But what really, I was after trends that people could understand, not metric tons of greenhouse gases.
Which people still don't get.
Yeah.
And you can't, the numbers that you have, Steve, people can't question them. You get the GHGs. Now you've got a factor that you have to multiply times another factor, and somebody says, I don't believe that factor of it. Like PG&E has to report what their GHGs are. And and then you'd have to multiply that times what their other metrics are, and then
Steve, did you work with the Regional Climate Protection Agency on this website?
No, we actually met with them, and that data that Jerry was talking about in terms of trying to figure out net energy, and we presented to them, and I think they're actually have built their own dashboard now, and I think it's pretty good, and it's worth taking a look at. They did that effort after we had started work on this site, and I think it's kind of complimentary. They don't show solar information, or they don't allow you to download data. They don't get down to zip code level or anything like that. So, but what they do get is if PG&E gives them data for a city, they know it is that city. Unlike us, where we're dealing with zip codes and boundaries get a little fuzzy.
just thinking about this, what you have in this database provides the why, what the county does, or what, sorry, it's SETCA, and we have a seat on the review board, and I volunteered to also work on the cross group between the transportation and then the climate side. They have the what, that is, the values are this. If you ask the question, how'd you get that value? I don't know for sure, but a lot of the how is here in this raw data. So they'll tell you the GHGs, and they'll tell you the travel through the county and stuff like that. Okay.
Do they give you pretty good numbers as far as you can tell?
I don't know the basis. So yeah, I can't tell.
Yeah, when the topic would come up on Nextdoor, because I haven't been active on Nextdoor recently, but when the topic would come up Nextdoor in the past, it would usually be somebody complaining about EVs or electricity use. And I used to share the RCPA article which was a couple of years old, maybe even 3 years old, about adoption of EVs, in the North Bay, and they were saying something like 60% of greenhouse gas emissions in either Sonoma County or the North Bay were from transportation.
From transportation.
Yeah, so I just need to share that a lot because that was pretty.
It's almost 70%.
Oh, okay, went up.
So then there's down the commercial and residential solar installations, that same drop off, not a big surprise there. So I encourage people just poke around at the site, and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
keep showing detail of it.
Yeah,
And
that's great, Steve.
maybe we can go back to the
In the slide.
the slide.
Yeah.
So the site address is, how do you, what's the?
It's cityclimatedashboard.org.
It was
And it's
in your
You
invite.
got it back.
The link's in your invite and I couldn't find an invite for this one.
It's also,
No, you didn't.
it's also online on our front
Sure,
page,
sure,
everything, you can get to it, there's a link there.
It'll be in the presentation.
So if we go back, okay.
Yeah, next steps there is one. Yeah, she's driving.
She's driving.
Tell her what you want to do.
So I have my son involved in this project too. He's helping me build a list of city council people, planning department officials, academics in climate and climate journalists. And I'm going to send out a email blast for this site with their particular jurisdiction, as that will come up. And then I'm also interested in developing an API, and then I'm also interested in forecasting. So for instance, as we have more EVs, what would we expect on impacts on gasoline consumption, down to the city level? And then same with heat pumps. As we have more heat pumps, what could we expect on natural gas consumption? So I have a full-time job, so this is really just a side project. I don't know when I'm going to get around to any of that.
Coordinating presentation we had the professors from Stanford who did a remote.
Oh, Mark.
Right, so I mean, make sure he's on your list.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
that's right.
thanks.
Yeah, that's right. And Robert Eiler.
Gonna do an economics review in the next month.
Yeah, that's right.
So we go on to the next slide. I know we're kind of wrapping up here. There's something I kind of want to cover because this, I think, is probably the biggest issue that is coming for all of us here in the Bay Area in the next few years. And that's where the Bay Area Air Quality Management District has decided that as your water heater fails in 2027, and it's natural gas storage water heater, and it's less than 75,000 BTUs, you're going to have to replace it with an electric. They're not saying it has to be, doesn't have to be a heat pump, but since heat pumps are 3 times the efficiency, people are going to most likely, or they're going to be paying through the nose.
10 times the cost.
Well, that's very true. And then,
They're not 10 times the cost.
well,
3-4 times.
Well, hold off on that just for a second. And then the same goes for gas space heating in 2029. And there's a lot of issues here around it, as you can imagine. 120,000 water heaters per year in the Bay Area are replaced. That's an enormous task to get heat pump water.
I had a friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna try to get through this till the end of the.
Yeah, we're
And then-
about out of time.
yeah.
So
So 7% get permits for a water heater replacement. That's not a big surprise, but we're trying to say, here, you're gonna do this, and we're gonna force you to do it. It's kind of hard to audit that. They're gonna say, everybody that lives within that area quality management district, you go to buy one, like from a box store, you're not going to be able to buy a gas one. But here we are on the edge of the air district. You could go up to Healdsburg or Cloverdale and buy a gas unit. And how is that going to, be enforced at that level?
So the Bay Area Air Quality Management District is going to forbid the purchase, like the sale, I guess.
Right, of a storage water heater. So you can install an instantaneous gas water heater,
Oh, interesting.
or you could, so they're now looking at, well, this is gonna be hard. How are we gonna do exemptions? So they're looking at low income. So if you're a CARE or FARA customer and you own the property, you'll be exempt. And smaller water heaters, 35 gallons. I'm not sure how many people have 35-gallon water heaters. And then restaurants, laundries, they'll be exempt. Space constraints. These are bigger units than a standard water heater. You're going to have to get a contractor, at least this is their thinking right now, to come out, take pictures, and then they'll send something in to say, you don't have the room to do this. And then when it comes to electrical constraints, if you have less than 100 amp service, you'll be exempt and you're a single family. Or if you have to go further than 25-foot line from your panel to the water heater for a 240-volt system, you'll be exempt. Yeah, they haven't decided, formalized on these, but this is the direction that they're leaning for types of exemptions. And
But how would they even be able to?
Okay, we're gonna
Yeah,
wrap, we're gonna wrap it there. Steve, thank you.
Good?
I'm good.
Yeah, we're good. So Steve, thank you for presenting. All presenters get a one of our hats.
Oh, awesome.
I don't know if you're a small or a large or two sizes,
Oh, no.
small and big. And that's a small, I think. And that'll work.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's
Perfect.
it. I had her wear it too.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. Well,
Big
thank you
clap.
very much. Yeah, it was really great. So the data is available on your site, and the site, that link is on the deck.
Yeah.
We may have two after meeting things. One, Mike is going to show us how to remove stickers, I hope.
Oh.
Maybe. Come on, Mike.
Yeah.
You ready for it?
No.
You ready to talk about
I
it?
can talk about it. But
All right, how about after?
But we have a show.
All right.
Well, that's but you.
All right. But after we can go outside.
I think
And then,
I'll do it for another month.
All right, wait another month.
Line it up.
All right, fine. It's too cold outside. I agree. So,
Yeah.
next meeting, so this is really an interesting thing. GM Energy reached out to us, and GM Energy are the people that do the vehicle to grid. And they're working with PG&E to get all their Ultium batteries into the houses. So they reached out to us and said, hey, can we do you know of anybody who want to buy this? I said, no, I don't, but maybe some of y'all might. And so next month, we're going to get a presentation from GM Energy on their vehicle to grid. They've been working with all the people that briefed us from PG&E a year and a half ago. And we're going to do that at Putnam Chevrolet. And it's we'll do that over there next month. So 10 January, 10 o'clock, Platinum Chevrolet.
Well, it sounds like it's not just vehicle to grid, it's they want to put their batteries in their stationary batteries too, or is this?
They have a.
It's vehicle to
No,
grid.
no, I think it's just vehicle to grid.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a system with many components.
Yeah.
They even have a vehicle to home. I mean, it's
Yeah.
different stuff.
Yeah, but they're working along. They're trying to get the same position that Ford and their thing is. Ford's the only one that's in that thing that Jerry's been trying to get into for. Yeah, and so they're trying to do that. So that's next month. So from that perspective, this part of the meeting is over, and we're not going to go outside because it's too cold, unless you want to see your.
Well, I'm outside.
Yeah.
But one comment, I
One
mean,
comment.
the resistance to getting a permit to do an electric or a heat pump water heater, et cetera. I found that actually, there's a lot of those contractors, if your water heater fails, they'll come put in a gas temporarily while they go through all the steps, and then you get your heat pump water heater. And, you know, because, I can't live here for a week with no hot water, and there is a solution.
David, you're required to get a building permit to put in a replacement gas.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You just don't building permit.
I just don't do
Falls
it.
down.
Yeah.
But I mean, then you go to the next step where they would do it, except it's gonna leave them without hot water.
Hey, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, I ended up getting a temporary one too.